it's no secret former President Trump and the Republican Party won big with Latino voters in 2020, but new research just revealed the extent of that momentum. And what could it mean for 2022 and beyond? I'm sorry. Here to discuss, the host of the Latino Conservative Podcast, Andrew Alvarez. Andrew, so what did the Republican Party and President Trump do right?
Really and truly, my opinion, and I've talked about this quite extensively, is even though, President Trump might have been a little abrasive at some point in time, he was real. You're a Texas guy like me. There's that whole real aspect. You got to be real, honest, genuine, and that's the vibe. That's the feeling that we got from him. Texas also, realized heavy on the oil industry, and Donald Trump was backing that 100%.
What about that strategy, though, for Latino voters? What are the issues that matter most to your community? And why was there such a significant change? I mean, I'm looking at Miami-Dade, it's plus 120 with the Cuban population and the Latino population. So tell me a little bit about that.
See, there's a few things that we want when it comes to who we're choosing. Just in life in general, Latinos really, we're hard workers, so we want to make sure that we have a job to go to. And when Donald Trump, as soon as he took office, the unemployment rate went straight down for the Latino population. Other things that we want, we want safety and security. I can't tell you the stories that I heard and that I saw physically whenever I was in Mission, Texas, and McAllen, Texas. Mm-hmm. People moved their entire houses because of some of the policies that happened during the Obama era that drew the cartels over and were harassing homeowners there. So they moved their entire house. Mm-hmm. We want leaders. We definitely want real leaders. Leaders don't only just tell you what to do, but leaders protect you. I mean, you've got on one hand, you've got Donald Trump, over here, president that, he's doing great, making great accomplishments with China, with Russia, with North Korea. Then you got China over here, calling us out on our own land now. Then you got Kim Jong-un doing his old stuff again, and Vladimir Putin out there, basically calling us out, calling Joe Biden out. And that's not what we're looking for in a leader. All of these other countries, they respected Donald Trump because he had some power.
So, Andrew, you focus a lot on Donald Trump, but going forward, is there another Republican that can capture that same momentum? Because, I see the same thing when you look at black voters as well. Donald Trump was able to get a larger portion, not as quite as much as the Latino vote. He was definitely more effective with that strategy. I saw it on the ground when I was in Florida, this shift in the population. But when I talk with people, they always say the man Trump, not the Republican Party. So what is the future of the Republican Party?
I really and truly, I would like to see this. I would love to see Ted Cruz make a run for it again. Some of the stuff that he's done lately, just being an advocate for the people, putting his voice out there, making sure that we are taken care of as well. And he's not only just doing that for Texas, but he's doing that for the nation as well. And his recent trip down to the border to expose kind of what some of Joe Biden's policies are doing. It's just, it's real eye-opening. And I think people on both sides can see that. I mean, if you fail to see that, you have the Kentucky horse blinders is what I call it.
Andrew, thank you so much. And tell my folks in Texas I said hello. I appreciate you coming on the program.
Oh, I will. You have a good one.
You too.
Hey, everybody, this is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative. Yeah, that's right. What you just saw was me on Fox and Friends First again. And this time the topic of discussion was how basically the Republicans are winning the votes of the Latino community. Really honored to be on their show again. Can't wait to be on the show again. Just like a little apology notice right now, too. I'm trying a different setup, so I don't know how the sound quality is going to be. It's really simplified right now. And I'll be honest, I'm doing this because I'm not feeling up to par health-wise. And it's not that I'm like crazy sick. Yeah, I just took the second dose of the vaccine, so feeling a little under the weather, if you would. And I had an early day yesterday, started early in the morning, so I can be on Fox and Friends. So feeling kind of the benefit, the effects of both. But what I wanted to talk about this time, I got a few things to talk about. Where do I start? Let's talk about what's going on with the border crisis. So a lot of you may know that there is a crisis going on in the border. We've got tons of people coming over, and it's not just Latinos coming over. Recently, there was a couple of guys, a 33-year-old and a 26-year-old males from Yemen, who are on the terrorist watch list already. They came over through the Mexican border, the one that is wide open right now because the border wall has been stopped, and Joe Biden has initiated some policies that basically he started catch and release again. He ended stay in Mexico. He ended those and started the policy again. So basically, people are getting free tickets to come to the United States. Earlier, I reported that there was about 6 people that were caught crossing the United States-American border from Iraq. I'm sorry, from Iran, not Iraq, from Iran, which is another terrorist state. So these guys that look like me, they've got my shade of color. Sometimes they got a beard. They're coming in with the Latinos. They know that border is open, so they're coming in. They're exploiting it and putting our country at direct risk. One of those gentlemen that was caught was found with a SIM card in his shoe. Those things that go into cell phones that make them work. Now, why would you want to have a cell phone's SIM card in your shoe? If for nothing else than to have nefarious thoughts and actions planned with it. Why? So you've got terrorist state of Iran coming over through the U.S. border, through Mexico, and you've got Yemen males that are on the watch list already coming through the United States and Mexico border. So, what's happening now? Yes, dramatic pause. What's happening now is Joe Biden's administration, which the Homeland Security Secretary, Arturo Mayorkas, he's actually on record now saying that they're considering starting to build the wall again. Think about that for a second. And I'll take a sip, take some aminos while I'm going there. Yeah, I've been trying to stay hydrated this entire time. I just feel like crap, so. And I can say that because I'm not a news person, even though I kind of would like to be. I think that would be pretty cool. Or at least a contributor. But they want to restart the border wall. Will that be okay now? Will it be okay to have a border wall now that the Democratic Party is saying that they may restart the border wall? Is it okay now? Just about every other country in the world has a border wall. But when Donald Trump wanted to start the border wall, everybody on the Democratic side went crazy. Called him xenophobe. Called him this, that, and the other. So you're going to do that to Joe Biden as well? Call him a xenophobe? Call him racist because he wants to continue the border wall? I don't know. I really don't know it. And I'm anxious to see how this plays out. Anxious to see how hypocritical people are going to be over that issue. So let's move on a little bit. Before we get to our next segment, what I would like to talk about is becoming a sponsor of the show. And I'm not going to talk much about it, but, I do this, for lack of better terms, as a hobby right now. I get no support doing this. The only support I get is to do likes and shares. So if you could, please, go ahead and what's the term? Smash that like button. I think that's how they get the likes. But either way, if you can go hit the like button, subscribe to it. Give me a few followers on my YouTube channel. If you're listening to this in audio version only through a podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or on Anchor, leave me a review. Drop me a comment somewheres. Also, in the description, I've included a way where you can become a sponsor of the show for as little as 99 cents a month. That'll help out tremendously. and you can cancel that at any time. But the best way you can help the show out is by sharing it, subscribing to my channels, dropping a comment, get my algorithm boosted up, get more eyes on this. I'd really appreciate that very much. So, moving to the next topic. What's going on in Georgia? So Georgia, as you all know, passed a law. I think it's like something like SB 202 that really limited, how do I say, free access, extreme free access to voting. What I mean by that is it put rules on voting. You have to meet criteria to vote. Voting is a right, not a privilege, is what some people are saying. However, they're making it mandatory for people to have voter IDs. Okay, nothing wrong with that at all. They're limiting the outreach for early voting, for postal voting, voting by mail, that type of thing. They're limiting those to protect the actual vote. With it as wide open as it was because of the pandemic, yes, I'm going to say that, so YouTube, I'm sorry, but there were many speculations about shenanigans that happened, and I'm not going to get into specifics there because that is just a topic that I don't want to touch on my channel. I'm still trying to grow my channel, and I don't want it to fall flat on its face because of something that is a bannable offense. But there's speculations and allegations of shenanigans that happened in Georgia during the presidential elections. So Georgia's state legislature came out and made some laws that they felt, in their opinion, would remedy those allegations and prevent them from happening again, as is their right. Each state has their own right to run the elections how they seem fit. So now you've got companies that are leaving Georgia. Major League Baseball, for example. Major League Baseball has decided to pull the All-Star game out of Atlanta and move it to somewhere else. Let me give you an analogy. Voting can potentially elect someone, or someone's plural, who can control a $2 trillion budget. But the companies that are bailing out of Georgia are saying they don't believe that people should have an ID or voter's ID to be able to make that choice. When's the last time you bought tickets to a Major League Baseball game? The cheapest tickets I found online, $25. Granted, those are probably in the nosebleeds up behind a pillar, but it's $25. You get those, you go to will call. Guess what you have to show for a $25 ticket for an event that lasts a couple hours? You have to show your ID. So how hypocritical is that? Basically saying that you don't have to have an ID to vote for someone who has control of a $2 trillion budget, but you do have to have an ID to buy a $25 ticket. Back to the wall. Donald Trump's a xenophobe for putting the wall there. He's racist. Joe Biden puts a wall. Nobody says a thing about it. See where I'm getting at? The left is being really hypocritical. So next topic out there. Now, I've got a lot of friends. Friends all over the place. I've got them on TikTok. I've got them on Facebook. People that I've never met before, but they're still my friends. I still count them as friends. They're still good people. About 6 months ago, maybe, no, not even that long, 3 or 4 months ago, I joined on a platform called Clapper, which is similar to TikTok, but it's a little more mature. And I'm not talking about mature as in, for mature audiences only. I'm talking about the people there on Clapper. It's more of a community, the legit community. You got people expressing their feelings. You got people that are showing what they love to do. Not all of these booty shaking type stuff that you see on TikToks. Not a lot of that. And for the most part, they are more mature age-wise as well. Wait, did I just call myself old? But anyway, my friend Heather on there. This is a reach out to you. My friend Heather basically just lost everything. She's staying with friends right now, but she lost everything in a fire. And she hasn't been able to get to work. She's a healthcare worker. You know, essential, someone essential. She lost her car in that fire as well, so she hasn't been able to travel and commute back and forth to work. So let me introduce you to Heather. Here she is.
Hello, guys. My name is Heather, and I'm jumping on here to say thank you to everyone that's been helping me out. I'm a healthcare worker, but at this point, I'm not been able to go to work because I've lost my car in my house fire. I'm 31 years old. I did get out of a bad, abusive relationship, marriage. I'm just trying to keep my head up and stay strong and not give up. And the Clapper fam has really put a strike on that because they're helping me in any possible way they can. And I really appreciate everyone, and I love you all.
So basically, what I'm asking, I've got her Cash App tag in the bottom in my description here. If you could spare $1 or $2, great. Any little bit's going to help because she needs help getting back on her feet. She can't go to work. She can't do anything right now. So any little bit can help. You know, there's a golden rule that people talk about. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, a lot of people like to think of that and say, or use that in a sense of respect begets respect. You better respect me before I respect you. Or what they also try to use that in the sense of the whole karma factor. When in fact, it's easiest to just help somebody out. That's all it requires is just a little help. A little help goes a long way. There's a whole pay it forward factor. Be a blessing. Bless others by be a blessing. The Bible has a verse in there. Inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. Whenever his disciples were told that, they fed Jesus. They clothed him. They gave him a place. And they asked, you know, we never saw you. And that's when he said, inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. So, next topic that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to make another episode this week specifically on George Floyd. It's a sensitive subject for people. I know this. There's a lot of evidence going in that are actually kind of pointing towards an acquittal almost. The police chief said there was video evidence from another body camera at a different angle that showed where Derek Chauvin had his knee on the shoulder. There's comments and evidence showing that George Floyd passed away because of lack of oxygen caused by fentanyl. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics on all of that, but what I will get into is my fear. What I fear is going to happen is not so much that Derek Chauvin may be acquitted, because he may be. In all actuality, he doesn't have to be proven innocent. Just a reasonable doubt. That's it. That is the law. You know, beyond the shadow of a reasonable doubt. You've heard of that? People who are rooting against Derek Chauvin have heard about that, have used that, and that may come up to Derek Chauvin's favor. I think he's a jerk. I'm being judgmental, and I know I just was all Christian just a few seconds ago. But I am imperfect. I know this. So does God. That's why he sent his son to die for us. But regardless, if by the standard of law he is found to have a reasonable shadow of a doubt and is acquitted, there's going to be riots. I think if he is found guilty of anything less than murder, there's going to be riots. I actually think if he's found guilty of anything less than murder and not charged with the death penalty, there are going to be riots. Heck, there may even be riots if he's found guilty and charged with murder from the right side. So here's my prayer, is that people will let the law take its course. That's it. Whatever the jury decides, that is what the law says. That is what we stand for as a country. That is what millions of people, men and women, have fought and many have died for, to protect what we stand for as a country. That's it. That's all we can do. Stand by the law. And if you don't like the laws, if you don't, 2022 is coming up, midterm congressional and Senate elections. 2024 is going to come up in a few years. We've got a presidential election happening. That's our time to change it. Hey guys, thanks for listening to me rant and rave at you. This is a shorter episode, I know. A little under the weather. Try to fake it till I make it type thing. But don't forget, if you have it in you to help out Heather, get some help. If you have the means to help financially, please share the Cash App link below. Use that Cash App link below to help her out. If you want to become a sponsor of the show, please, I would really appreciate that. Hit that support link that's in the description below. Look forward to more episodes coming out. I'm going to be actually pursuing other guests. I've got a congressional candidate from the Pennsylvania area that's going to be on within the next week or so. I'm reaching out to some local current representatives, even some not so conservative representatives, because at the end of the day, no matter if I'm conservative or liberal or Democrat or Republican, Latino, black, white, Asian, European, any other ones? Indigenous, which I am that too, but no matter what color my skin is, I am under these red, white, and blue banners called the flag of the United States. I stand for the United States, and I will always stand for the United States. No matter what. United. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative.